Welcome to Derisnap.com. In this video, you'll learn how to set up a trend following strategy. Go to the Trend Following tab. Activate the Trend Following strategy. Next, enable the Trend Following bot. Use the toggle button to turn it on. On the top right corner, there's a full guide that explains all the Trend Following strategy bot setup settings clearly. You can check this guide if you have any doubts. This helps you to understand all the input parameters in Trend Following bot setup. After that, set the quantities. Enter how many quantities you want to trade for each signal. Then, select the option expiry you want to trade. You can pick different expiries based on your strategy. For example, suppose today is July 15, 2025, Tuesday. You can refer to the table below to correctly select the expiry for your trend following trade setup. Then you need to set stop loss for your trade. Stop loss percentage. This is used to calculate the stop loss value for your trade. If there's an open sell order position, a buy order is instantly placed at the current market price to close the position. If there's an open buy order position, a sell order is placed at the current market price to close the position. Then in advanced settings, you need to select the trend following indicator you wish to trade for the signals. Here in Derisnap, we have 4 primary trend following indicators. First one is SMA crossover. Interval. This is the time frame you're using to trade. For example, you can set to 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, etc. Short length, SMA. This is the faster moving average, calculated using fewer candles. It reacts quickly to price changes. Example, SMA, 10, means average of last 10 candles. Long length, SMA. This is the slower moving average, calculated using more candles. It reacts slowly and shows the longer trend. Example, SMA, 50, means average of last 50 candles. Here bot creates uptrend signal, when the short SMA crosses above the long SMA. Downtrend signal, when the short SMA crosses below the long SMA. Next indicator. EMA crossover. Interval. This is the time frame you're using to trade. For example, you can set this to 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, etc. Short length, EMA. This is the faster moving average, calculated using fewer candles. It reacts quickly to price changes. Long length, EMA. This is the slower moving average, calculated using more candles. Uptrend signal, when the short EMA crosses above the long EMA, which indicates trend might go up. Downtrend signal, when the short EMA crosses below the long EMA, which indicates trend might go down. Next indicator is MACD signal line cross. This strategy gives a buy or sell signal when the MACD line crosses the signal line. Interval. This is the time frame you're using to trade. You can set this to 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, etc. For example, if the interval is 15 minutes, the MACD is calculated using 15-minute candles. Fast period. This controls how quickly the MACD reacts to price changes. A smaller number makes the MACD more sensitive. Usually set to 12. Slow period. This smooths out the MACD and reduces false signals. Specify the slow period for the MACD. Signal period. This is the moving average of the MACD line, usually a 9-period EMA. Used to trigger buy, sell signals when crossed by the MACD line. Example. Uptrend signal, MACD line crosses above the signal line which indicates trend may go up. Downtrend signal, MACD line crosses below the signal line which indicates trend might go down. The next indicator is SuperTrend indicator. Interval. This is the time frame you're using to trade. For example, you can set this to 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, etc. ATR length. ATR can be defined as average true range. It measures how much the price moves, volatility, over a number of candles. Example, if ATR length equals 10, it checks how much price has moved in the last 10 candles. Factor. This is a multiplier of the ATR. It controls how far the SuperTrend line is placed from the price. Example, factor 2 times ATR means the line is placed 2 times the recent average movement below/above price. Minimum SuperTrend distance. This is the minimum gap required between the current price and the SuperTrend line. If the SuperTrend line is too close to the price, example less than 10, the trend is not strong or reliable. So, the system skips the trade if the distance is less than this value. Use it to avoid weak trends. Maximum SuperTrend distance. This is the maximum allowed gap between the current price and the SuperTrend line. If the SuperTrend is too far, example more than 1000, the trend may be too late or overextended. So, the system ignores such signals if the distance is more than this value. Use it to avoid chasing the trend too late. Once the indicator selection is done, you need to define other input parameters for your trade. Distance from index. It is the percentage away from the current index price used to select strike prices for option trades. For example, let's say, current BTC USDT index spot price is 100,000. Distance from index is 1%. For single strike. Distance, 1% of 100,000 is equal to 1,000. The bot selects one strike that is 1% below the index. Strike equals 99,000. Multiple strike counts, example 2 or 3. The bot continues to pick strikes in subsequent steps, based on the exchange's available strike gap. Example, if strike count 3. First strike, 99,000. Second strike, 98,800, which is next closest lower strike. Third strike, 98,600, next after that. So the selected strikes would be 99,000, 98,800, 98,600. Next you need to set. Select side. When side is set to buy, it makes a buy order. When set to sell, it created a sell order. Choosing both generates both buy and sell orders. Next you need to set strike counts. This defines the maximum number of strikes to use for order creation. For example, if the strike count is set to 2, the bot will generate orders based on 2 different strike prices. If you receive an uptrend signal, the strike count is set to 2, and the side is selected as sell, then it will create 2 sell orders on the put side. If you receive an uptrend signal, the strike count is set to 3, and the side is selected as both, then it will create 2 sell orders on the put side and 1 buy order on the call side. In total, 3 orders will be created. If you receive an uptrend signal, the strike count is set to 4, and the side is selected as both, then it will create 2 sell orders on the put side and 2 buy orders on the call side. In total, 4 orders will be created. Trailing take profit and trailing stop price. Trailing take profit is the point where trailing gets activated when the profit legs reaches a given specified percentage. This helps lock in profits while allowing the position to continue benefiting from favorable market moves. Trailing stop price defines how much the premium can fall after trailing is activated. Once the trailing stop is triggered, the system will exit the positions if the profit drops by the specified trail stop percentage from the highest point. Example. Suppose you set the trailing take profit at 40% and the trail stop price at 30%. When price of any profit leg reach 40%, trailing gets activated. From that point, if the profit drops by 10%, example from 40% to 30%, the system exits the positions to protect the gains. If the price moves in your favor and the profit increases from 40% to 50% to 60%, the trailing stop loss price also adjusts upward accordingly to 30% to 40% to 50%. This ensures that higher profits are progressively locked in as the trade becomes more favorable. After that, you need to set total quantity limit. It sets the maximum number of orders allowed. If the sum of quantities in active open orders and open positions reaches this limit, no new orders will be placed for the next signal. Make limit orders % from mid/mark price. This setting helps you decide how far your limit order price should be from the current market price. This helps create limit orders with prices close to the current market price. If the value is 0 or empty, then the limit order will be the mid value of best bid and best ask. If you enter a percentage, like 75%, then it calculates a price based on that % of the gap between mid and best price. Example. If best bid is at 100. If best ask is at 300. Mid price will be around 200. So the difference from mid to best will be 100. For a buy order, 75% of 100 is equal to 75. For buy order, limit price will be placed at 125. For a sell order, 75% of 100 is equal to 75. For sell order, limit price will be placed at 275. After that, you need to set maximum number of orders from same trend signal. This limits how many trades the bot can place during the same trend, uptrend or downtrend. Example, if you set this to 4, the bot can place only 4 orders during an uptrend. After that, it won't place more until the trend changes to downtrend, and vice versa. After that, you need to set waiting time for re-entries. This sets a cooldown period between new trades. Example, if set to 15 minutes, the bot waits for 15 minutes before placing another trade on the same trend signal. After that, you need to set waiting time for re-entries after stop loss. This defines time interval before a new trend following order is placed on the same side after hitting a stop loss. After that, you need to set waiting time for enter market order. This gives a time limit for limit orders to get filled. If the limit order isn't executed within this time, the bot will place a market order instead to make sure the position is entered. After that, you need to set order interval for same trend signal. This is the gap between multiple trades placed during the same trend. Example, if set to 16 minutes, the bot will wait 16 minutes between each new order in the same trend. Close existing positions and open orders on trend change. Automatically close existing positions and orders when the trend signal shifts from a downtrend to an uptrend or vice versa. If this enabled, it will close both active positions and open orders if there is a change in trend. Close open orders on trend reversal. Close only open orders when the trend signal shifts from a downtrend to an uptrend or vice versa. If this enabled, it will close only open orders if there is a change in trend. Once you finish all the advanced settings in the trend following strategy, you start the bot. These settings will stay active until you change them. Then bot will then create trading orders. When these orders are filled, they will move into open positions. You can click the Info button to view which indicator is being used, your trailing stop loss and other important settings. Here, the bot sold 2 put options of BTC. These puts were 1% below the current BTC price, because we have set strike count equals 2 and distance as 1%. The SuperTrend indicator with input parameters of 10 and 2 on a 5-minute chart gave an uptrend signal. Based on that, the bot placed the short trades. Then trade exited automatically when the trailing take profit was hit on each leg. After exiting, the bot will now wait for a new trend signal to take the next trade. Thank you.